Okay, this is booking number 2, and we're going to talk about, first of all, the importance of calling versus messaging. Okay, I know we're in a messaging age, but I want to give you some stats on sales and calls, and my source is at Brainshark, and this particular article was by Brian Williams, PhD. Okay, so some interesting stats. First of all, 92% of all customer interactions happen with a live phone call. So live phone call is always going to give you much higher results than messaging. And you guys, that is so true in our business, I can't even tell you, because they get to hear your voice inflection, they get to know you're a real person, you get to sell the sizzle of what our appointment is going to be. So I know it's not as comfortable as texting. Boy, I wish that was as effective, or Facebook messaging or whatever, but a live phone call is always going to be more effective. Another stat he said was 30 to 50% of all sales go to the person that contacts first. So you guys, we have such a blessing in Mary Kay because we are proactive in approaching people about getting to have a spa facial and trying before they buy. And there's other cosmetic companies, top cosmetic companies, that are trying to figure out how to do what we do because they know that we can get a bigger piece of the pie because we contact first. I thought this was pretty exciting. Nearly 13% of all jobs in the US are sales. I would say the majority of us come into this business without sales experience and really not wanting to be the sales type. I know one of my concerns and almost stopped me from becoming a Mary Kay consultant is I didn't want to be a salesperson. I did sales for one day in college. I had to cold call about theater tickets and I quit after that day, which I actually thought was better because the girl I started with quit at lunch. So I was like, at least I'm going to complete my day. I used to always say I've never sold anything, and then I remembered like a little while ago, I was like, yes, I did. One day in college and quit. And so it is, a lot of us aren't the sales type. And so I had a hard time with sales in the beginning. I had never worked where I exchanged money with people except for like at Baskin Robbins. That was my first job. But I didn't feel like it was going to me. It wasn't. So know that like sales is what makes the world go round, and it's a very noble job because, especially with what we do, because we really don't have to sell very hard. It's a very soft sell. This product sells itself, right? We just have to get it on people's faces. But booking is the thing that seems the closest to sales because we have to contact them, right? So another stat is people who actively seek out calling referrals earn 4 to 5 times more than people who don't. And that's across the board, not just in Mary Kay. So 4 to 5 times more than people who don't, people who actively seek out calling referrals. 55% of people making a living in sales don't have the right skills to be successful. So congratulations for watching this video. And then also he said, continuous training gives you 50% higher net sales per employee. Continuous training gives 50% higher net sales per employee. So how smart are you for getting training? And how smart is Mary Kay to give the best training around? And we usually give it for free. So you guys, just from my own stats, I will tell you that when you get a live person rather than booking by texting or messaging, the results for them actually booking and then holding the booking is even more because they have a relationship. You're a live person. So, all right, some other booking tips that I'm just gonna give you guys is book together. If you can, do a booking blitz or have a booking buddy or have a book club or whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't even have to be something that's like set in stone every week, although that's a great idea too. But you can just text a sister consultant in the morning and say, hey girl, I'm gonna book today from 6 to 7 or from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Do you want to meet me? And let's book together. And what that does is you've put it out there, so now you don't want to go back on your word, so you're accountable, and it makes it more fun. When you're booking with a friend, it's like you celebrate when you get a booking, you like high five, and if somebody says no, you're together. You're like, girl, no big deal. So I would say book with people. Just bed. Is a really fun tip. Secondly is double booking. This was hard. It's usually hard for us to wrap our mind around double booking, but you want to book 2 to hold 1 or 10 to hold 5 or 6 to hold 3. And that is just around the board. Mary Kay Ash used to have to double book to hold, okay? And it happens in anything where there's reservations. So that's why your hairdresser or your hairstylist overbooks, because people cancel at the last minute. That's why we sit forever at the doctor's office or the dentist's office. They overbook because people, when there's appointments scheduled, cancel at the last minute. That's why airlines overbook. Do you ever wonder, like, why are they overbooked? Because things happen at the last minute. So it's just part of taking appointments. I remember in the beginning though, I was like, my friends, if they schedule it, they're gonna hold, right? And then I had I was told to get 8 on my books, and like one by one they were falling off. And I was, again, taking it personally, it's not personal. But I allowed it to kind of give myself, I was like, if my friends aren't gonna hold, I'm still gonna be successful, right? But if you overbook, you'll be less disappointed. How do you overbook? You can either book 2 people in the same time slot at your place, or if you don't hold appointments at your place, you can book 2 people at the same time slot, and then if it looks like both of them are gonna hold, which statistically probably won't happen, but if it does, you can what we call dovetail it to another consultant. So you could call and say, on like Tuesday for Friday, and say, it looks like both of these are gonna hold. I've got a party set up. Would you like to hold it? You still make 15% of the profits, and you still send a great consultant that way. It's another great way to build a team so you can help your team be successful. So double booking. The next tip is to give a choice between 2 time slots, That does a couple of things. One is if you hold things open-ended and you're just like, I'll book whenever, it's hard for somebody to come up with a thought in their mind, and so they might delay it. Oh, let me think about it. Let me get to my calendar. You will have a lower incidence of them actually booking if you leave it open. Secondly is it seems really professional to be busy. You know, it's like, hey, I've got Tuesday at 5 or Saturday at 4. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Imagine if you were going to go to a new hairstylist or a new dentist, and you called the dentist and he was like, I'm open, I'm free. You'd be like, ooh, okay, call me back. So it makes you, seem like a professional to be busy. People take you seriously. They know this isn't just, something that you're just fly by the seat of your pants. They take your time seriously. And when you tell people that you're booked, you're really busy, you only have a choice between 2 time slots, you may be booked with stuff in your family. You may be booked because you're studying for a test. You may be booked because you've got a soccer tournament. You may be booked because it doesn't have to be Mary Kay booked when you say you're booked, okay? So another thing is when you give it time between 2 things is you will run your business and your business won't run you. So a common mistake I see in new consultants is they're like, I'm just hungry to do this Power Start. I'll book it whenever. It doesn't matter. And you are exhausted at the end, right? But if you take control of your business and you say, hey, would you rather have evening or weekend? Awesome, weekend. I've got Saturday at 10 or Saturday at 1. Which would you rather have? Saturday at 1. Awesome. My place or yours? You give them a choice between 2. So that's really smart. Another little tip is there's a magic phrase, and this magic phrase is called, is there any reason why? So if you don't want to get no as an answer, don't ask a yes or no question, okay? So at the end of scripts, you can always say something like, is there any reason why I couldn't practice on your face? Or is there any reason why I couldn't pamper you? It was really fun. When I started learning this little phrase, I started using it like on my husband and my kids too. Like, is there any reason why we couldn't go out to eat tonight? And like, it works. So anyway, little magic phrase. Try not to book more than 2 weeks out. Anything that's booked more than 2 weeks out, sometimes you can't help it, but anything that's booked more than 2 weeks out, it has a very much lower incidence to hold. So, which gets to try to book with a sense of urgency. So again, if you have a reason why to hold in these next 2 weeks and you book with a sense of urgency, it's going to be better for them and better for you. And there's some things that help with that. Always in your script, at the end of it, share your goal. It's going to help with 2 personality types. One, you'll hear more about DISC personality types later, but there's an S personality type, a security-minded, stable, somebody who always wants to help. And so when you share, this is my goal, I'm seeing 30 faces in 30 days, and you're helping with that, that type of woman's like, oh my gosh, I want to help her. Like, I'm going to hold this because I want to help her. The other personality type that likes when you hold your goal is what we call a D personality type. And those are people that like to be competitive and like to have a goal and a challenge. And so if you share, I'm doing 30 faces in 30 days. And at the end, I'm going to let myself, go to Hawaii. That's pretty big for that, just kidding. But if that were your goal, then that personality type's like, oh, I respect that. I like a challenge. So make sure you share your goal. And then for other personality types and for all of it, is then share what's in it for them. I've learned in Mary Kay that there's like a radio station that we're all tuned into, and it's WIIFM, and that stands for What's in It for Me. Okay, so our booking script, you guys, you don't have to think about it, is full of what's in it for them. It's all about what's in it for them. But make sure you're booking with a sense of urgency. 2 weeks out. Why 2 weeks out? Share your goal and share our script, what's in it for them. Another thing is, don't overanalyze these people. Okay, you guys, I mean, we can look at this list and you can talk yourself right out. Like, oh, she's getting married. She is like busy at work. She's got a hangnail. I mean, like, I'm being silly, but like, seriously, we will overanalyze it. Don't overanalyze it. You never know. When I was booked for a facial and booked for this opportunity, my recruiter's twin sister was like, don't call Kelly. Oh my gosh, don't. We have to see her again. And those are sometimes the hardest people that aren't like best friends, but acquaintances. You'll see them again. And I'm so glad she didn't listen to